But we can start with the one you're most anticipated with.
So for those of you who don't know,
Actually, can I?
yeah, do your thing, bro.
Okay.
Do your thing.
So these videos won't be out yet, but Zach and I, we played Five Nights at Freddy's, and God fucking habit. I don't know why it does this.
Okay, it's back.
So basically, we were playing Five Nights at Freddy's, and we happened to somehow get to the topic of Yanderes, the whole archetype, right? And I kind of just brought up, I was like, yeah, I just used to have this whole thing about it. And he was like, bro, me too. And then we really wanted to talk about it, but we were like, save it for a podcast. And that's what this is. We're going to talk about this archetype. I don't know where Leon stands on it, but we'll find out.
You know what? Where do you stand on, Leon?
Yanderes?
Yeah.
In the scope of like anime, I think it's all right. I just don't really care for them.
Oh, okay.
To be fair, I don't watch that many that include them.
That's the only one I like really
Future
know
Diary?
is Future Diary. Yeah.
That's the main one. That's the main one. School Days.
School Days.
School Days. You never seen School Days?
Bro, I haven't even watched Future Diary.
Oh, damn.
I haven't
Okay,
either,
so you're not going
to
to
be
watch
fair.
it. School Days is about this guy, right? And it's in the first 6 episodes starts so normally. It's about this guy who had a crush on this girl,
Okay.
right? And his best friend was this other girl who had a crush on him. So she was like, okay, well, I'll let you practice on me. Practice your flirting. Practice your lines.
Okay, I thought you were going to be a little
Yeah, I was a
bit-
little concerned for a second.
And
Bit more
then it
sexual
moves
on
to that direction. And then
okay.
she's like, okay, you got to practice your kissing as well. You don't want to fail. He's like, that makes sense. Right?
Still checks out.
And then, they just start having like full-blown sex, bro.
Okay.
And you got to practice. He's like, yeah, that makes sense. And then he actually gets the other girl, right? So the girl...
The practicing actually worked.
Yeah, it worked. It worked. The best friend pretends like she's pregnant,
Oh no.
right? And so the girlfriend, the new girlfriend that he got, she grabs like this knife, and this happens, and it's a slow burn. You don't realize they're slowly going insane until like episode 11 or 12, where the girlfriend grabs a knife, and she says, "I don't believe you," and then opens her up. And it's crazy. And then he's like, you're crazy. And then she's like, you love me. And then she kills
Honestly, with the way you're saying it, I thought the friend was gonna end up being the crazy one. That's
that's what I was
that sounds
thinking.
interesting actually.
That
sounds like a cool twist.
It's really
Fucking
it's a really good fucking
So
weird.
I guess because I know you have stories related to this that you wanted to bring up. So I just want to kind of start with our awakenings to liking this
Yandere?
kind of topic. So for me, and this is probably something that we're all like basically around the same age. So I think it's something that we've all potentially noticed. But growing up, I realized there was a lot of stuff, even outside of anime. Before I ever knew what anime was, there was kind of a lot of stuff within the culture that kind of gave off a certain idea of obsession with love. So like there were songs. There was Katy Perry made Hot or Cold, and in the music video, the whole music video is that the groom runs away because he's like having second thoughts, and it's her chasing him down. And then there's Paparazzi by Lady Gaga, and the whole chorus is literally, I'm your biggest fan, I'll follow you till you love me, right? Stuff like that. And then there were cartoons, like that cartoon with the little ninjas and how the girls always chase him down. And then there's Chowder with Panini always chasing Chowder. Like pretty boy. Exactly. Like there was a lot. I don't think people realize it, but there was a lot of media back in the day that kind of gave that impression. So growing up, I was always like, okay, so love is a very obsessive thing. Some girl's gonna want to like kidnap me and put me in her basement or something, and I'm gonna be like, yes, this is awesome. And then by the time I got to middle school, I then discovered anime and stuff and learned about Yandere. So it kind of even further, I was like, this makes sense. This checks out. And then eventually I kind of calmed down. What?
I just think you're crazy.
No, I realized that. Eventually I was like, this does not make as much sense as I thought it did. And so now I'm at the point where I'm like, especially because like even dealing with a little bit of clinginess in a relationship, I can realize how annoying it is sometimes. So I was just like, I think I've calmed down. But that's kind of how I led into it.
Oh, right.
So I wanted to kind of hear your thought process.
Well, I just like you, I was exposed to the Yandere concept, or the obsession girlfriend, or someone that really likes you concept at a young age, via multitude of media.
Yeah.
Right. And I always really like the concept. And I never grew out of it.
That's fair.
I do. There's something about a girl who's willing to destroy or create or do anything for you that appeals to me. At a sense, because I'm a very like I'm a man that likes the responsibility of having that situation. So it's okay for them to be clingy. I prefer clinginess.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think a big part of why I liked it also is because I feel like I'm not gonna bring this up because it's a whole other can of worms, but I feel like there was a relative amount of neglect growing up, and so I liked the idea of someone who liked me so much that I wouldn't have to worry about that. But continue, sorry.
So I never grew out of it, right? And so I surrounded myself with that with that group. So my girls are very, very dependent on me, just like on the basis level, and that's fine. I like that. And sometimes it can be overbearing, but I'm willing to accept that because that's the type of love I can appreciate. Mm-hmm. Right, that you want me around so much.
Yeah, I'd rather you want to be close than constantly pushing me away.
Now the reason I wanted to talk about this so much,
okay,
is because one of them is definitely a Yandere. One of them is definitely a realistic Yandere.
Yeah,
we're not talking like, future diary anime.
Not like cutting another person's stomach open.
But one of them is definitely Yandere. Okay, so. There was this one time.
Like the craziest little.
Wow, that was amazing. You should have put that to the mic.
It's definitely gonna hear it. no matter
that was like I don't know. That was beautiful.
There was this one time. I find it. Oh, I find it sexy actually. I'm be completely honest with you. I find it attractive. There was this one time me and one of them got into an argument. Right.
Yeah.
This one was big. Right.
Heated.
I think we were like about to break up, like big. It was big. And obviously the argument itself, I won't go too into the details because that's private. But Shorty picked up, if you like go in the kitchen right now, you'll find, you ever seen Kara's knife from Undertale? You'll find that bitch in there.
Okay.
Which is a big ass kitchen knife?
Shorty picked up you know what? I'm gonna go get it. I'm sorry. I'll go. Hold on, bro. Hold that for me.
No way, bro.
So I'm at my doorstep, right? And I'm like, I need you gone. This isn't working out. I'm just tired of this. She says to me, "You tired of it? You tired?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm tired of this." She's like, "Okay, you tired, right?" she stomps her way into the kitchen, grabs this bitch, and she starts acting right for me.
No.
And hello. You would think she like it was a threat, like so she would stop in front of me.
Yeah.
I had to grab her hands, bro. I was going to get I'm serious. I'm serious. I had to grab her hands. She was about to stab me. This sounds crazy, and it is. She's fucking insane.
No, I think I kind of understand.
But so I grab her hands, and I'm like, "Are you fucking serious?" So I'm mad. Are you fucking serious? Did you just try to? And then she breaks down crying, and then obviously we work it out. And she's like, later on she asked me, "Why are you still with me?" And I answered her honestly. I was like, well, after I stopped being mad, I realized that was the sexiest thing I've ever experienced in my life. That was, obviously, don't ever do it again. Don't ever do it again. But I can appreciate that love. She was going to kill me. Strong love introduces stronger hate. All right, so we were in that argument. I realized 100% how much she cares about me and how much she hated me in that moment. But I know she loves me. I know she loves me so much. I know that like if it came down to it, she would kill somebody over me.
Oh.
Now that's psycho, but that's sexy. I don't know. I find that
Puts it on the board.
beautiful. I find that beautiful.
I'm kind of with you. In fact, I'm taking applications. Please stab your knives into my door with your numbers on them, and I'll get back to you.
No, if I would have actually got stabbed,
That would be a different story.
of course there would be a different story. But I was able to stop it.
There would be a headline.
Yeah.
So obviously it's dangerous, and it's not like the anime, right? It's not like the over dramatized version, right, where they're psycho all the time. That's not how it works. It's just like
So it's not the
sometimes they snap.
It's not the like hey, my mom needs me to like pick up some laundry. Your mom.
Your mom.
You don't need your mom. And it's like,
Oh, you only need me.
it's like, yeah, well, I mean, like, I really need to get that laundry. So
Like that just reminds me of like there's a webtoon Stalker X Stalker.
I remember that.
Yeah. Where
Stalker.
yeah, it's about these two Yanderes basically liking each other to where they would do anything, like they would just stalk each other.
I think I remember seeing like a panel of that where it was like both of them were getting hit on by someone else, and they were just like, we know what to do.
Yeah. They killed them.
This sounds interesting. What is this?
It's
Stalker
webtoon.
X
Stalker. I'll check it out.
It's by Mary Weathery, who
Oh,
did
it's by them?
yeah,
I didn't even realize that.
who did like Internet Explorer.
All the
Oh,
Chans.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Weren't they the one who made Earth-chan, or was that somebody else?
I think
No,
they
didn't. I don't think
I
they
think
made
they made
Earth-chan.
them.
I think that's just like an internet thing, and then
Fair
they
enough.
like made a like series out of it because they made a
Yeah.
series
Yeah.
out of Internet-chan. Like,
Yeah,
it's
there
still
was-
going.
Yeah.
Okay, but what's your like definition of love?
Of love.
Right, bringing it on to a small tangent from the previous one, right? Because there's a lot of people who would be like, well, that's not love, that's obsession. And I genuinely feel like, why can't love and obsession?
They can go
Coincide.
hand in hand. Like, obviously, if you love, it doesn't have to be a person. If you love something enough, you won't want anyone else to have it, right? Like if I have my mom pass me down like a trinket, and I'm like, I love this thing, I appreciate this thing with all
This
my
is
heart.
mine.
So I'm like, don't fucking touch my shit. This is mine.
Right.
Just imagine that, but with a person now. Then that works this like the same way, right? Like, if I have a girlfriend who I absolutely love, get back the fuck over.
We're not sharing,
Yeah.
Dave. Fuck out of here, dude.
That's crazy that you chose Dave. I still need to talk about the nigga on the podcast one day. Fuck that guy.
What are you talking?
I brought up David once, didn't I?
David?
Because I was like, yeah, all Davids suck.
Yeah, I remember.
We'll talk about that one day. You know what I'm talking about, man?
I would need to know last name, but
The thing is, I can't confirm what his last name is. That's the thing that pisses me
Dave
off so
is a
much.
mythical
Okay,
figure.
I'll do a little teaser, and then maybe one day we'll do a full episode talking about all this, and we'll see.
full episode.
Yeah, bro.
Dave,
Because
he
it
needs
relates,
his
it
home.
relates to Kelly and everything.
Oh,
So Dave,
okay.
well, David was this guy that my ex knew. And one day, like, I guess he was a part of like a D&D group. I assume not the one you were in.
Oh, of course. I don't know a Dave.
But basically, she was in this D&D group. And one day she's like, hey, can you help me with some things? This guy said something to me, and I can't tell if it's like normal.
Wait, she was in a D&D group, but she wasn't in D&D club?
No, I guess not.
Probably like an online thing, maybe.
Well, actually, I'm not sure if it was a D&D group, but it was just a group of people that she was hanging out with.
Oh, okay.
Well, actually, no, I think it was the D&D group because Eddie was in it.
Wait, so she was in D&D club? She was in D&D club.
So do you know a guy named David?
Do you know what it looks
White.
like?
I think if he's who I think it is, because I was like doing research. He's a white guy. He had like curly hair,
I think
maybe kind of skinny, kind of tall.
Bro, that you just described every white guy. White guy with curly hair. Are you serious?
Brown hair. I think I'll have to bleep it out anyways, but I think. But basically, the whole point was.
This guy's actually sounding familiar though. That's him. I'm like,
I swear, he had longer hair before, right?
well, I wouldn't doubt it.
I think that's him. I think that guy was in my D&D club.
Yes. Because the thing is, I'm pretty sure to this day she never told me for sure. But okay, back in time.
Oh, here.
That's
I'm almost certain
that
I'm almost
has
certain.
to be him.
So
Now it's been a good 4 or 5 years, but that's
one day, she goes, "Yes, this guy said something weird to me, and I can't tell if it's normal." Because Kelly's like, I don't know, maybe autistic or something. Because she's like, I don't get social cues,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm like, okay, what did he say? She goes, he said he was gonna work me, and I was like, what? I was like, no, that isn't normal, Kelly, right? I was like, that doesn't usually happen, right? And she was like, oh, okay, cool. And I thought that was gonna be the end of it. I thought she was never gonna talk to him again or something. And then one day she was like, man, David said another thing. And I was like, what the fuck did you say this time? He was like, same thing basically. He wouldn't kidnap me and stuff. And I'm like, that's not cool. And so the thing is, this happened like 4 times. And each time I was like, what's the guy's name? And she was like, well, I can't tell you because you're going to go fight him or something. And I was like, yeah, that's the point. You got to tell me his name, right? And then one day she's like, well, it's David. And I'm like, David what? Because I knew like 4 Davids. And I don't want to swing on some innocent guy, right? Just be like, hey, I know what you said to my girlfriend. What? Just me,
I was just going to calculus.
Kelly who? And I just like start stomping him out. It was like, and I was like, I think she like years later, not years, but like I think like towards the tail end of our relationship, she might have told me, but I don't think he even lived like here anymore. But I remember like, I was just like, yeah, like you shouldn't be hanging out with this guy, yada yada. And this lasted way longer than it should have. It's to the point like we'll talk about it if we do a podcast about the relationship. But like I'm after post breaking up and thinking about it with hindsight, I can't tell if she was like really stupid or really smart to be able to like make me think I'm stupid. Like, because like there's no way your ass really thought it was normal to talk to this dude.
I mean, we don't know what all that the group chat was saying.
That's true. Like, because I don't know what the other people were involved.
Here's the thing, right? Because that guy looks familiar, and I'm not really good with faces, but he looks familiar. Like, what if maybe it was like part of their D&D thing? Maybe.
No way. Because the thing. Okay, so I know for sure if it's that guy, I'm actually in a group chat with him from one time when we did D&D, but we never finished that session. Or we like never started it. So it was like, hey, we're gonna do a session, guys. And then never talked again. So he's in that. So that's another reason why I think it's him. But he wasn't saying. I don't even think he spoke. He was just in that group chat. So I don't know. It's really weird. And I'm just like, there's no way you held on to that. Like thought that was normal. Because then one day she was like, guess what? David said something weird. And I was like, oh yeah. And she was like, I'm upset that you're not getting like angry about it. And I was like, because I don't know the guy's name. Who am I gonna get angry at? I was like, maybe if you tell me who the fuck he is, then I'll get mad and go beat his ass or something. So like that's why I think it might have been a manipulation thing, her just like wanting attention for it. But I don't know.
Hey,
it's possible because it makes
girls are crazy, bro.
It really makes me think. Because there's so much shit that like she would hold against me or like things we'd argue about, and she would always bring it up, and I wonder if it wasn't as bad as she was making it sound, but just made it sound that way just for the sake of it. I can't tell. I really don't know. Because I couldn't even like ask her. I couldn't like
Yeah.
it's way too far gone for that. But it's just so weird. Like I was like just flabbergasted.
There has to be, because
and the craziest part is, so eventually she was like, I was like stop talking to this dude. And she's like, okay, cool. And then like a year later, towards the end of our relationship, I remember I was just sitting here. She was like, hey, like, she was like, oh, look at this meme that someone sent me. I was like, oh, cool. I was like, hey, who sent you that? She was like, David did. I was like, David? And
David.
And I was like, you're still talking to David? And she was like, oh, well, I just sent a meme sometime. And I was like,
the what?
I was like, why are you in contact with him at all? Right? Like, so I don't know. I think she's like, either, like I said, either really stupid or really smart. Like, it's so hard to tell. Because
I'm be honest, I think she was really smart, bro.
Because even looking further back when she was dating Jontez, because mind you, my ex dated Jontez. That's how we met, which they broke up, and then we became friends, and then I started dating her.
Which is wild to even think about.
It is. It's a wacky story. I should write a book on it, to be honest.
You broke like 30 rules of the bro code, bro.
Well, to be fair, they broke up like 4 years before we started dating, and for some reason he was just like, sorry, Jontez, but I don't know how you held on that long. Like, it was, I think it's because another reason why I think she might be really smart, not really stupid.
I'm telling you, she's smart.
It's because she kept in contact with them. There's some exes you can stay friends with, but a lot of the time you get like, if you're getting mad at this dude constantly for still being in love with you, stop talking to him. But she kept talking to them because I think she liked the attention.
She liked attention. Oh,
So,
we're gonna get hate, but yo, some of y'all are like that. I'm sorry.
It is wild because like like I said, there was that where it was like, you know, both before we became a friend group and during when we had this big friend group, that was a reoccurring thing where John Tez would be like, I'm still in love with you. Then she would get mad at him. And then they would become like stay friends. And I'm like, this is like extremely unhealthy. So I don't know.
That's toxic.
Like maybe I was just clouded by my love for her.
That's crazy. Cause man, Kaylee, Kaylee,
it is
should
Kelly.
we be saying her name?
It's just her first name. There's like 17 million Kellys.
Oh yeah. Oh, Kelly's such a, no offense, Kelly's a basic name too.
Yeah.
Kelly.
I could damn near say her last name and it would still be basic, but
Yeah,
I'm not.
that's true.
I feel like I don't know why. How do I know
Middle
Kelly?
school, right?
Yeah, middle school, right? But I feel like we were never like to that point where we were friends. But whenever I saw her, we could like talk, but that's just for 30 seconds before we stopped talking again forever.
Man, like I don't know. There's just
She seems so normal.
she's very strange because like. Like it's been like 2 years, and it still perplexes me because like even the smallest things, I'm like, huh, like
That's
how,
odd.
like about how we first had sex, where it was like I did not expect her to fiend that bad, and it make because I always figured like okay, this is something that I figured
We should take our time.
I figured she would feel the same way. I was wrong. I was horribly wrong. She didn't care who was around, and she was doing shit, and I was just like Jesus. Like, I don't know, like every single thing. And then the fact that despite that, she would say that I'm the one who was in it just for sex. Like, I feel like it was actually just really intelligently crafted.
She's smart, bro.
I think she's getting all of her information from like romance comedies.
I actually, bro, I would not doubt it. With some of the shit that she watches, too.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Oh, God.
All right. If we're going to talk more about that, we need a whole, like, episode.
We do. Because, like, I could make a documentary about like, it is crazy.
A short film, even.
Literally.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
Okay. All right. Okay. That was. I thought she was talking to me again.
I'll just name this segment toxic relationships or something. I don't know.
Have you? I was about to say, have you guys been in a toxic relationship? Well, obviously, you have.
And I haven't been in any relationship.
Poor Leon.
Well, no, Leon had a chance with
Yeah.
Sarah?
No.
Tappy?
Holly.
Holly!
Yes.
Man, Neon knocked her so hard, she flows out of my mind, bro. Like, it's crazy.
Whenever you're gonna think of her, it's like a slot machine, like going in circles. Like you gotta hope you get the right one.
But she wasn't Leon's type, apparently, so.
Okay, I'm gonna tell a story. Well, I'll ask you. Obviously, I need your consent whether or not you want it in or not.
What is this?
Is it?
You remember Mary?
Yeah. Okay. I have a feeling.
Is that okay to talk about? Because
Mary.
mind you,
if
if you're gonna get upset watching, don't get upset at him. We peer pressured him.
Yeah, that's very true. Don't go into specifics of her.
Oh no, I'm not. Well, elaborate.
You know.
Okay, I think I know what you want.
I tap him if he's going too
and then if
far.
not, I can cut it out.
No, I'll literally just punch him in the face.
Okay.
Damn!
So, before my previous ex, the ex before, I dated this girl who lived like a state over.
V.
We'll call her V. She was cool. And through her, we had like a pretty cool little friend group where it was like me and my two best friends, and then her and her like 2 or 3 or 4 best friends.
Is this the same girl that like Stanley asked?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is
Yes.
the girl that.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. This is the girl that Stanley asked for feet pics from.
Damn, bro, I didn't want.
Well, I think we brought it up already.
Did I?
I think we brought it up on an episode. I'm pretty
Damn,
sure.
I'm sorry.
I think it was
Stanley.
the car episode.
I think it was when it was you like us and Jontez.
Was it
Oh.
with
We brought it up
Jontez?
there.
Damn, I'm
It was
sorry.
either that one or the car one.
I'm sorry, Stan. That's
sorry,
my fault,
Stanley.
buddy.
But
Oh,
yeah. So we had this like friend group, and I was dating V, and it was weird because it like we were all talking to each other. So I guess some other mutual agreement started happening. Like so there was V's like best friend who like started talking to Jontez, and then obviously we had our odd one out right with Leon. And there was another girl who we'll call M. And M, I guess randomly one day, because mind you, Leon talked in the group chat like how he does now, where it's like, okay, like random
You know,
shit.
that is
we
Leon.
would have a few like voice calls or like video calls like through the group chat, but other than that, nothing.
Like it wasn't anything super like crazy, and yet I think this girl just felt the peer pressure of, for some reason, everyone liking each other, and was like,
Yeah.
and then so one day she goes, Leon, I like you, and he goes, okay.
No, I was. How old was it? 14?
Something like that, because I think
Yeah, it
we
was
were
like-
still freshmen. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. We're freshman or
shit.
sophomore. I was like 14.
Yeah. So he's like,
Oh.
okay, and she's like, do you like me too? And he goes, sure. and Dantes and I, then we peer pressured poor Leon. We were like, do it. And so then they kind of like got together. It was a whole thing.
Yeah.
And then we were like, we would play fucking Call of Duty World War II together on Xbox. And I'd be like, come on, Leon, talk to her.
Oh, Leon, you're something else.
I'm innocent.
Yes. Leon's the kind of guy who wants to grow old with his wife and have a kid.
Leon's
That's
amazing.
true.
Leon's a goat. I will say, if I was in Leon's body,
Elaborate?
huh?
Go on.
It's just, if
Hey-o.
I was Leon,
thanks for being more specific this time.
if I was Leon, I definitely would take I would take advantage of Leon's natural charisma, because everyone loves Leon. It's a running theme, but everyone loves Leon.
It's true.
So I definitely would take it. You're innocent. You're an innocent man, Leon.
Yeah, is that no one or everyone knows me, but no one. Wait, how to say this?
Hmm?
How to say this?
Everyone knows you, but they're not familiar with you. Or no,
Yeah.
everyone's familiar with you, but they don't know you.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, it's Leon. Yeah, Leon. But
Leon.
They're like, this is my pal Leon, who I know things about. They're just like, I
Yeah.
know Leon.
Yeah.
And that's the most unfortunate part, because what you see on the surface, this charismatic, handsome devil,
Mhm.
is only the surface. There's so much to like.
He's like an ogre. He has layers.
Exactly.
Hey man, I'm not that big.
I don't know about that.
What?
Huh?
No.
Yeah.
Sorry. What about being in Leon's body? I mean, no, never mind. Sorry. Sorry. That wasn't me. I don't know. I was taken over by a demon. I'm sorry.
I don't know what happened there.